Okay, this is my hometown, Flint, Michigan, my family home here, and you can see traditional landscapes, right? The English manor style. So I cut my grass short in the front because I'm so rich that I don't even need to use it to grow food. All the servants and the gardens are in the back. This is a very old mindset that has still maintained over time. However, historically, there have been peaks and valleys and changes in American landscaping. So this tree was a neighbor's tree, which I harvested, and which became this hugel, which I did the borders with. And the nature strip is in its first season. I planted some catnip and some other, just catnip and a couple, I think some mixed seeds, but nothing really came up. You know, catnip grows wild here, and I can't seem to get the seeds to go, though. So it's better just to transplant chunks. So you can see those evergreens against the house. I trimmed them up. They were staining the house. Still hasn't been power washed. I kind of carved them out so they look kind of Dr. Seussy, and then you would put, you know, a little birdhouse there, perhaps, you know, a vine going up, something like a, you know, grape or scarlet runner bean, something you can eat. Kale, you can see, it worked. Literally, I planted kale one time here. That was it, and it's everywhere. There's comfrey in here, lemon balm, and I have a question for plant nerds. There's an identification issue I have here. See those flowers in the bush? That's mallow. You see the clear line between the neighbors and us. I keep reminding the neighbors that they can eat what's here. And I did some weeding, but largely this is untouched. There was onion. Well, yeah, still onion here. Alright, incoming call from my dad. Well, I'm outside, Dad. Chicory, right? Dandelion, you harvest in the fall for the root. It's very medicinal tea. Drink 2 weeks at a time. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. You can see the mushroom potential for these. Again, harvested. I mean, that's hyper local. That's where it was harvested from, that tree. The guy was going to take it away. You see a guy working on trees and you say, hey, you know, how far do you got to take that load? Because if it's further than my yard, then you're going to save gas money. And they say yes. And the guy dropped these big logs. That's my big showpiece log there. You'll notice this mulch has really gone down, so you can't really see where the paths are anymore. I can tell because I've carved this so many times. But I'm going to reshape this. This is the before video. That comfrey, look at that one. I mean, this one I'm going to give to a friend who makes creations. She's at Davison Farmers Market. And I'm going to give another one to Neil and whoever else wants a comfrey, because I'll keep the smallest one and just spread it out here so I always have it and I can always give it away. Originally it came from Darren Anderson. Thanks again to Darren. And this has given me, you know, I've given away a lot of plants. Well, not a lot, a handful. And it's being maintained. That's the important thing. We still have it to share. Now, this is, I got it from, you can see it looks like a hyssop, like a mint, but it smells like lemon. So that's lemon balm, right? But this one is like a little bush and it smells like lemon. So I wonder if someone knows what the difference is. You know, it grows differently. It still smells the same. So, what else we got here? A doggone mom. All right. Anyone know what that is? A little tip about Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes. Don't plant them any place you don't want them to be because they will never come out. And I dug every tuber I could find, and still there's a few coming up, but that's not bad. Usually you can't get rid of them. I'm going to dig them out again, try to eradicate them. They're good for pots. Jerusalem artichoke, it has a fingerling potato, the root. So those potatoes actually have more carbs per pound than any other food. So they're great for burger patties. I heard, I've never had them in burgers. Yeah, this needs to be swept, and one of the mistakes I talk about here is that I made this a little bit too close to the edge of the sidewalk. Now that it has melted down, you can see it's not much of a problem anymore because the slope is better. However, look, I'm going to come down low. Look, little kale just growing right here. See, I threw some seeds here. I just started this. I had extra material. I'm going to plant here in the spring. But look how high this is. I mean, this is, you know, a couple feet off the sidewalk. So we have gained. We have built up successfully. This is what happens. You see a Hugo in its second, third year. This wasn't even covered all the way. Look how messy that is. Not even mulched. It's still breaking down underneath just fine. The worms are going nuts. Every time I pull a weed, there's at least one worm in it, in the root systems. So this thing is doing beautifully, and I think by spring, you know, I might let it go longer before I even plant trees. I know you're supposed to do it quick, as fast as possible, but I want 100% success rate when I plant anything. And this yard is ripe. It could use a little more time to let these logs melt, and then so I have the putty I want to make the shapes. And the shapes will pretty much stay the same, but yeah, I think that's about it. So I'll make another middle video and one upon completion. Thanks for watching. Good one.